Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial for beginner lifters, and we will go over like the best ways to build muscle and strength for everybody, not specifically bodybuilders or powerlifters, but like both. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the schedules that most people use for bodybuilding and working out, which are called splits. So there are 5 different types of splits, and you can modify these any way you would like, whichever suits you, but it's better to do it to where you hit each muscle twice or more a week. So that is one reason why the bro split isn't the best split, is because you're hitting like each muscle every single day, and there's no room to do more than one muscle, or like do, like, let's say legs. You gotta hit legs twice a week rather than just once, and that's why the bro split isn't the best split. And so all of the other splits are good because they hit each body part more, or each muscle more than one time a week. So we got the full body split, which is you only work out 3 times and you hit everything on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you can modify it however you want, but that's just the iconic way that people do it. And so we also have the push-pull leg split, which it'd be like this, where you have push-pull legs, break, push-pull legs, repeat. And the upper-lower split, which is what I'm doing right now and is one of my personal favorites, which is break, upper-lower break, upper-lower break. And I do that, but I also do like cardio on Sunday and Saturday. And then there's also the hybrid split, which I also really like, and I will probably end up trying really soon, and which is a mixture of the push-pull leg split and the upper-lower split. And that one is really good as well for hitting all the muscles evenly. Okay, so now that you know the schedules that mainly everybody uses, now let's talk about what actually builds that strength and muscle. So mainly what it is it's this little system called like reps in reserve, and this is a nice chart that explains it well. And so basically what reps in reserve is, or IRI, or RIR, is it's like how many more reps you can do before failure. So usually, like, some people don't really push that hard and they just leave like a lot of reps, like they're not tired. But what you should do, or what I do, is I leave like around 2 or 1 reps in the tank basically. And then my last set, I go all the way to failure, because I do 3 sets, which you don't have to do. You could do like 3 or more is good, or even 2 for like bodybuilding basically is good. And the last one you want to go to failure so you could really get that strength part of it. But other than that, like, reps in reserve isn't very important in bodybuilding, but it is very important, but it's not like so important. It's mainly in like powerlifting. You would want to go to failure most of the time, but in bodybuilding, don't go to failure all the time because you will lose gains that way. But go to failure some of the time, and that's better for your recovery time as well. And if you guys want a more scientific explanation of all this stuff, then I recommend checking out Jeff Nippard because he is where I figured out most of this stuff. And also do your own research to find out what workouts are good for certain muscles and just Google it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about like what makes a good workout. So, the three main criteria for what makes a good workout is first of all, you could get high tension and high stress within that muscle, and then it feels better on your muscles than it does on your joints, and that varies for everybody, you know. And the last one, and probably the most important, or one of the most important one, is how like much you can add on weight over time. It's called progressive overload. So like with this workout, for example, this workout that I'm going to show you is one of my favorite and one of the best bicep workouts in my opinion. And it's this. So you get your elbows way back here, and so it's in a really stretched position, and you're just curling like that. It's very like isolated, very stretched, and for me it does not hurt my joints at all. And recently I've also been able to put on way more weight on this. So this workout for me does all three of the criteria that makes up of a good workout. But of course, they're like not all good workouts are going to do that. And one really important thing is, I'll show you. So, most people don't know, but it's called the concentric and the eccentric. So, as an example, with this workout, me going back like that is the eccentric, because it's like my muscles are releasing. And the concentric is the part where it's like contracting. Your muscles are contracting. That's the concentric, and this is the eccentric. So the eccentric is one of the most important part of the workout, and probably the most important part, and it's best to stay controlled. So I gotta go slow like this, but I could go fast like this if you want to get powerful, and slow like this. And that having a slow eccentric has many benefits because it is safer, and like if you do a workout too fast or too slow, it's not as beneficial. But when you have a slow eccentric and a decently fast concentric, you'll be just fine. Okay, so I have another example of concentric and eccentric with a different workout, and it's a different motion. Because in this one, my muscles aren't contracting, but it's still the concentric. It's just another example of it. So, with shoulder press, so you get up here, and this is like the normal position. But in this one, eccentric is when I'm coming down like this. That's the eccentric of that workout, because it's releasing. So like, I'm releasing the weight back down. And then the concentric for this is the push part. So it's slightly different than the one I was doing before. But the eccentric, the eccentric and the concentric are like completely different motions. Because this is the eccentric, and it's releasing, and this is the concentric. But the eccentric is still more important in that workout too. And that's just another example. Okay, so this is like a graph that better explains what eccentric and the concentric motion of a workout is. And it also shows how like isometric workouts, which I'll explain in a moment, relate to this. Same with lengthening and shortening partials. Okay, so this is an isometric workout that is like, it's like an isometric hold of like hammer curls, basically. And basically you just hold this and it like trains, I think it's your brachialis or radiobrachialis or whatever. And so that's basically all that isometrics is. But isometrics is a very good way to train your muscles, but there's just no motion to it, but it still will build muscle by doing isometric workouts. So these are lengthened partials, where it's like the top half of the workout, and these right here are shortened partials, where it's just like the bottom half of the workout. So usually when I can't do a full rep anymore is when you start using shortened partials, because in my opinion shortened partials are better than lengthened partials, just because you get that compressed position, which is better for muscles. I think it like tears them a little bit more. And yeah, so that's mainly what you use shortened partials, is when you can't do full reps anymore. That's what you go to. And you could still get way more gains by doing them. And so I do think it's a good idea to do them. Also, another thing that really impacts your gains is like your protein intake and stuff like that. But I will go over all that stuff another day. So if this helped you, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.